Hello everyone, thanks for joining this online briefing for the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter Accessibility Improvements project, which is currently being engaged on, and we're offering this opportunity to learn a bit more about the project. So in terms of the agenda, we'll welcome and introductions, an overview of the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter and specifically the transport schemes, the aims and objectives of those schemes. We'll have a look at the design proposals, and a colleague from Pell Frischmann, Nick Young, will talk you through those. Just a quick overview of the next steps and then ability to take any questions. So before we start going into this, my name is Ollie Burnell. I'm a Transport Planning Manager at Birmingham City Council, and I'm joined tonight by Sophie Rafiq from Birmingham City Council also, and then, as I mentioned, Nick Young from Pell Frischmann. So this is an overview of the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter. This is a key investment zone under the West Midlands Investment Zone project, alongside investment zones in Coventry and in Wolverhampton as well. But this Birmingham version looks at this area to the east of the city, around the Aston University, BCU, and other areas just outside of the main city core. This has been designated as one of the investment zones, as I say, and the idea is, through the transport schemes that we're going to look at tonight, to catalyse the development of this part of the city, so it's better connected, easier to get to and to move around within, and that should therefore lead to better drive more investment into this area and really sort of get it going as a thing within the city. So just an overview of the investment zone itself. As I mentioned, it's one of the West Midland Investment Zone's key investment areas. Whilst this project was being determined to designate the Knowledge Quarter as one of the investment zones, two capital projects were put forward that would really help connect it to the wider city and catalyse further investment. So those two transport projects that we're engaging on and talking about tonight are the James Watt Queensway Supercrossing and the Birmingham Knowledge Quarter area-wide active travel. And Birmingham City Council and Transport Planning team in particular has picked those up, taken them through the various bits of business case development. We've done our strategic outline cases, and now we're talking about the sort of concept prelim designs ready for preparing the outline business case for these schemes. First of the two schemes is the James Watt Queensway Supercrossing. This is an existing crossing that many of you will know if you travel through this area. Existing pedestrian crossing over James Watt Queensway, connecting the bottom of Corporation Street with the Aston University campus. The aims and objectives of this scheme are to improve the facilities for people walking and wheeling, and just, yes, as I said, better connect it to city centre and then in due course to the wider Neachills area. To improve the user experience at James Watt Queensway Supercrossing with some public realm improvements, just making it a lot more coherent, making the area nicer to perhaps spend a bit more time there, but also importantly acting as a bit of a gateway into Aston University and the wider Knowledge Quarter. The final objective there is to reduce the conflict on James Watt Queensway Supercrossing by making movements just clearer and easier and quicker and more efficient. So I'm now going to just pass over to Nick from Pell Frischmann to just talk a bit more about where we've got to with the concept designs.
Thanks, Ollie. So these are the concept designs, and all of the information that you'll see today is presented on the BHERD website as well. So what we see in front of us is the proposal for the super crossing. So the super crossing is that very wide crossing, currently a staggered crossing. So you make the crossing in two separate movements in order to get between Aston University and the city centre at the end of Corporation Street, just near where it meets Steelhouse Lane and the Children's Hospital. So the proposal is to try to and really narrow the number of lanes. So we've currently got 6 lanes in total, 3 in each direction. We want to reduce that to just 3 lanes that you need to cross to pass between the university and the city centre. And importantly is to realign it into a diagonal crossing, more closely in line with the design line that people actually want to walk along. We know that this is a very, very busy crossing. It's used by about 10,000 people every single day. And it's currently a toucan crossing, so that means that it is shared between cyclists and pedestrians. So what our proposal does, it separates it out into 2 separate crossing movements. So pedestrians there are towards the right-hand side of the image, and cyclists are shaded in blue on the left-hand side. And this will take the opportunity to connect into the existing A34 cycle route, which travels off to the north. Also shown on the drawing is a potential future extension of the cycle route towards Moore Street Queensway. We've only shown a short section of it for context for the time being, but the view is that would eventually connect into a cycle route, a segregated cycle route on Moore Street Queensway as well. The other element to this is the public realm improvement. So we want to take the existing public realm, which includes some grassed areas and trees, and really improve that with some more trees, more planting, and upgraded pavement material as well, to provide that visual route between the city centre and the university and beyond. And then one final point to mention is that you'll see on these plans certain elements that are actually being delivered by Transport for West Midlands. So that is converting the underpass that goes under Lancaster Circus to buses only, and also introducing the bus stop, which is just to the south of the crossing here, the south being to the right-hand side of the plan that you see. So as buses come up from the underpass, they are able to enter straight into a stop, and passengers can get off there and easily access either this part of the city centre or get into the university itself. And back to you, Ollie.
Thanks, Nick. That's great. So yes, this is one of the key projects, and obviously, as we've said, that real kind of connection and bringing the Knowledge Quarter closer to the city centre and improving that connectivity. Next up is a separate scheme. I mean, these schemes are obviously very much related and being progressed in parallel, but it's different in terms of how we've initially gone about it. Is the BKQ area-wide active travel. So this looks at interventions across the wider Birmingham Knowledge Quarter, all the way down from Curzon Street in the south up to Dartmouth Circus in the north, and then bounded by the middle way on the eastern side. The idea here is to put a whole series of interventions in that will improve active travel and make it a much more pleasant place to walk and cycle, and vastly improve the pedestrian safety. In terms of the defined objectives that will be put forward through the business case, we want to reduce motorised traffic passing through, to make sure we prioritise walking, wheeling and cycling and public transport usage. That doesn't mean that you won't be able to access the area by car. It just means that we want to cut out the through trips that don't have an end point within the Knowledge Quarter. We want to improve road safety. That's a massive focus for Birmingham City Council across a number of schemes. And just, particularly for people walking, just make sure that there are some of the highlighted risks around this area have been mitigated as much as possible through this scheme. Overall, this will improve access and connectivity to jobs and education, and is a big part of the wider Knowledge Quarter aspirations to drive that, that education and the connection with that to business and collaboration between sites, that sort of thing. We want to just improve the street environment, make it more pleasant, making it more welcome and suitable for all users. So there's public realm enhancements as well as sort of transport improvements, but the two are very much linked. And this looks at that area that I mentioned, so specifically Cardigan Street, Woodcock Street, Lister Street and Holt Street, and then also on Jennings Road. And it's the idea that in future, as Birmingham Knowledge Quarter evolves and future schemes come online, that we would spread these kind of interventions further through across the Middleway and into Nechells and further improve accessibility and connectivity into the area. So first up, we'll look at the proposals on Cardigan Street. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, Ollie. So this is Cardigan Street that you can see here. You have Jennings Road off to the left-hand side of the drawing and Curzon Street off to the right-hand side. And we also show the loop of Belmont Row and Gopsall Street in here as well. So as with most of the other roads in this area, it's characterised by fairly wide lanes for traffic. We have lots of traffic passing through this area that, as Ollie said, doesn't necessarily have an end point in the area. And so the aim of this is to try to reduce the amount of through traffic while providing some better facilities for people on buses, walking and cycling as well. So one of the issues that we know of this area, and we're very well aware that the ring road is congested. So what people tend to do is cut down Curzon Street onto Cardigan Street and then beyond onto Woodcock Street and Lister Street to try to avoid that queuing traffic on the ring road. However, Cardigan Street is not an appropriate use for that traffic. We really want to better serve the amenities in this area without having lots of traffic passing along here, often at speed. So the proposal here is to introduce a bus gate partway down Cardigan Street between where you see the two mini roundabouts. One of those mini roundabouts is at the Millennium Point car park access, and the others at Gopsall Street. So only buses, taxis and cycles, and when I say taxis, I mean Hackney carriages, will be able to pass between those roundabouts. Everyone else in a private vehicle, if you wish to access Gopsall Street, you will do so from Curzon Street off to the right of the image. And if you wish to access either the Millennium Point car park or Belmont Row, then you will do so from the Jennings Road end. So the other features we're introducing here is you can see shaded in blue are cycle lanes or cycle tracks. So they are segregated from general traffic movement by the plan is to have a curbed upstand there to keep the cyclists separate from cars and other vehicles along here. We also want to introduce some more green features, so more trees, and then other features such as benches and cycle parking for the venues along here. And lastly, along Cardigan Street itself, we provide continuous footway crossings across Belmont Row and Gopsall Street, so that prioritises pedestrians across those movements. It will be much more obvious to drivers that they should be giving away to pedestrians in those locations in accordance with the highway code. And then one feature that we need to introduce on Belmont Row then is what we call a modal filter, and a modal filter that will allow just cycles and of course pedestrians through it. You won't be able to drive along Belmont Row in a private car or private vehicle any longer, because in doing so, that would allow you to bypass the new bus gates that we plan to install on Cardigan Street. So that was everything that covered on Cardigan Street. I will move on to Woodcock Street then. So Woodcock Street is effectively a continuation of Cardigan Street. It's that same route, but it's the other side of Jennings Road. So just on the right-hand side of the image, you've got Jennings Road, and then off to the left, you've got the Woodcock Street, which extends up to Holt Street and on to Lister Street. On Jennings Road, you can see we are realigning the existing pedestrian crossing point to make that more direct and more convenient to make that route, rather than having to sort of almost walk slightly out of your way and then back again in order to access Cardigan Street. Key features then on Woodcock Street are much narrower carriageway, with then in favour of having much wider footways. We are retaining some parking along there, but we're not retaining all of the pay and display parking. We're introducing some disabled bays outside the leisure centre, but importantly, we'll be retaining all of the electric vehicle charging bays. Now we know that we have some quite fast traffic that uses Woodcock Street, so we're introducing some traffic calming features here. So where you see at the end of Aston Street, between Aston Street and Heanage Street West, there is a new crossing facility that's for cyclists and pedestrians there in the form of a zebra crossing. That will be on a raised table, so drivers will be expected to, or they will need to, slow down on there. And then continuing on, you have the next zebra crossing, also will be on a raised table, again to slow drivers down. And as with elsewhere, we have the continuous footway crossings where pedestrians will have priority, or it'll be much clearer to pedestrians and drivers that they have priority over the side road crossings to make those journeys more convenient. And again, introducing some more what we call healthy streets features, including planting trees, benches, places to park cycles. Thanks, Ollie. So that covers Woodcock Street. And then on to Lister Street and Holt Street. So I'll cover Lister Street first. So Lister Street's a continuation of Woodcock Street up to the Ring Road, Dartmouth Middleway. And again, we are planning to narrow the carriageway down so cars have less space, with giving more space to pedestrians through wider footways. And the other feature here is a traffic light controlled crossing along that desire line between the two Aston University Engineering Academy buildings, where we know there's a high flow of particularly students along there. And again, some other features, healthy streets features like shelters, cycle parking and trees. On to Holt Street then. So Holt Street has recently had installed a temporary feature, which a temporary modal filter, which stops cars from being able to access the section to the left of the plan here. It's using some temporary features at the moment. We want to make that permanent. We want to permanently stop cars from being able to travel all the way along Holt Street or accessing Holt Street from Woodcock Street. And so we're making that permanent with some nicer paving, again, trees and some benches, cycle parking in that area. And then for the section of Holt Street to the left of the plan, we're narrowing the carriageway, providing these continuous footway crossings where they go over a side road, and introducing a zebra crossing just after Love Lane. The other section of Holt Street to the right of the plan is a case of just installing some of the continuous footway crossings just to reinforce that pedestrian priority along there. Thanks, Ollie. That's next. So we're on to the final plan here, which is Jennings Road. The plan for Jennings Road is not to make any major changes. We expect in the future, not sure how far away, that a more significant scheme will come along to completely remodel Jennings Road. But in the meantime, with the funding we have available, we just want to make some smaller improvements that we're going to help pedestrians. So those are the continuous footway crossings, consistent with the rest of the scheme, and then just on the left-hand side of the plan, we want to introduce a new signal-controlled pedestrian crossing. That's on Grosvenor Street. I think it's Grosvenor Street. Where there is an existing desire line where pedestrians currently have to go quite far out of their way to reach the nearest crossing. And then lastly, just some additional trees and benches along there for people to rest and shelter under. Thanks, Ollie.
Great. Thanks very much, Nick, for going through those design features. As we mentioned, there's some consistent approaches across the area, and it's felt that this would be a good way to best manage the available budget for maximum impact, and in line with everything we're trying to achieve generally with the Birmingham Transport Plan and improved, particularly pedestrian connectivity in this area. So I've just got another slide on the next steps, just summarising where we're at with this engagement or consultation. Is running from Monday the 2nd of Feb until just this Sunday, the 1st of March. All the information and the drawings we've looked at tonight are available on the website still, on the Birmingham Be Heard link there, and that's the opportunity to provide comments on the designs as to whether you support them or anything else you think needs to be considered or should be looked at related to these projects. There are also paper copies available at the Greater Birmingham and Solihull Institute of Technology if you'd like to go in and see those. Following this, we will review all of the feedback and produce a sort of consultation report, and that will further inform any refinement to the designs before we incorporate all of that as part of the outline business cases, which need to be finalised and submitted to the combined authority and also to Birmingham City Council, to our own transport governance that way. Once we've got the outline business case, the stage after that is a full business case and further consultation on any statutory traffic regulation order changes and that sort of thing. So this is still, this is not sort of fait accompli by any means. This is just a chance for us to show you where we're at currently and seek seek thoughts really and comments. You're also able to contact us via the email address there for any further queries. Great. So at this point, I'd ask if there are any questions from anyone who's joined the webinar online. We did have a slight technical issue at the start of this, so appreciate that might have affected things. But if you're watching this, rewatching it on the website, as per the previous slide, any questions can be directed to the connected inbox there if answers can't be found on the Be Heard website. So that probably is all there is to say this evening. Thank you very much for joining or for watching this at a later date, and do let us know if we can help with anything going forward. Thanks very much.